Skywalker here, my people, and this is another vexing one. I wonder how it was allowed to happen in my country, but I wonder why I wondered. Incredible things are happening at this time when Jamaicans are considering about getting the yoke of Britain from around their necks. Jamaicans have suffered so much at the hands of these white supremacists and now would like to get away from them. Jamaicans are referred to as Commonwealth, but they need visas and a lot of scrutiny and handed insults to go to Britain. Plus, there is not the slightest doubt that Britain has been one of the powers that deliberately kept us down for ages. This means that Britain itself, although requiring that Jamaicans subject to their merciless white supremacist treatments, have nothing else to do with us but just to milk our values and efforts, just like they do to Haiti and Congo at this time. And they do it at, they do it along with their European or American or Israeli or French counterparts, or even the Canadian counterparts. It is very important that we get away. In order to get away from the subjection of an evil force, you cannot be the subject of the evil force. A citizen of England is subject to England, and one who fights to hold on to a British citizenship is proving his allegiance to England. What if this man, who desperately wants to stay a British citizen, was the same man who wants to become Prime Minister of Jamaica? It would be like making the British Prime Minister also the Jamaican Prime Minister before cutting ties with Britain, isn't it? How would this counterproductive thing work? The man who thinks that way cannot ever be trusted, and it matters more if he is a white person. For those that have always placed that stranglehold upon our necks are white supremacists. But of course, someone like that, although knowing our circumstances in Jamaica, might actually draw a race card. You want to be the prime minister here, but you desperately cling to a British citizenship. Plus, you are white. Make it make sense then. There can be no possible error in judgment here. It is tantamount to treason. My people, Jamaica's opposition leader, Mark Golding, has confirmed that he is still a British citizen by descent. He asserts that there is no legal requirement for him to renounce his status in the United Kingdom at this time, which proves that he only cares about the loophole but not about the sensitive issues regarding the people. Nor does he care for the basic principle itself, the fact that he is or the fact that his way is not workable, especially since he so desperately wants to be British, and British is the enslaver we are running from. It is like Paul Bogle running away from being slaughtered by the British and runs up into the Maroons, who were desperate to be friends with the British. It is the personality of one who would go to power by tyranny and impugn upon the people. This is what Mark Golding is reflecting to us. This situation has rightfully raised concerns. Generation 2000 G2K, an affiliate of the Jamaica Labour Party, has called for Golding to renounce his British citizenship or withdraw his prime ministerial ambitions. They argue that holding dual citizenship, especially with a country that was once colonized, is incompatible with the role of prime minister and erodes public trust in leadership. The issue highlights transparency and integrity concerns, and it's essential for voters to consider these factors when evaluating political leaders. No, We also see where the outspoken Everard Warmington rightfully suggested that we must question Mark Golding's credibility after the opposition leader went as far as calling for constitutional amendments that would allow Jamaicans with dual citizenships to run for office. Imagine that. Imagine how far this guy is going. That would be like a so called friend threatening your mother in front of your face. Obviously, Mark Golding has no concern about protecting Jamaica's sovereignty at any time. Huh? Think about it. Is this how you consider protecting one's sovereignty? Jamaicans always want to take a big thing lightly, but we must stop that now. We must stop it. This is why I am no yes person to any politician. If you don't have a free mind, you become a respecter of persons. You will not be able to know a rat different from a back and belly rat, no matter what certain standards are never be made to bow. No matter what certain standards are never to be made to bow. Golding claims that Jamaicans who also hold citizenship for non-Commonwealth countries should be allowed to seek political office. That that is like announcing or begging to go to treason. He talks about Jamaicans domiciled overseas who want to return to Jamaica and contribute. So no, the fact that they want to contribute must trump the security standards of an entire nation. This should be enough to decide if you want this man as a political leader in your country. Jamaica, he slights us at every turn. He slights, he brings mediocrity. He brings mediocrity. Jamaicans are always told to take sleep and mark death. So use that wisdom. If Mark Golding does not see the implications of the things he asks for, then he is too ignorant to be the prime minister. And if he sees the implications of what he is asking for, it means he is planning to be a traitor. So he should opt out and let the PNP try with Lisa or someone else who has the country at heart, hopefully. Interestingly, Mark Golding is opposing all we know of the People's National Party, which has always been lobbying against what he is so determined to do, and rightfully so. They were a nemesis to JLP members who had dual citizenships in the past. Gregory Meir, Warmington, and these are of the JLP party: Gregory Meir, Warmington, Shaheen Robinson, Daryl Vaz, and Michael Stern all had their legitimacy in the lower house challenged by Mark Golding's party on the grounds that they were citizens of non-Commonwealth states. And Mark Golding keeps coming up with hypocrisies all day. This is another huge red flag. Why do the same that you condemn others for? Why? Why do the same thing that you condemn others for? But you do it even worse and with a straight face. The PNP legitimacy challenges even ended up in by elections that cost Jamaica taxpayers some serious millions, probably up to all 100 million or more. This is what it costs when they challenge the legitimacy of JLP members in the past. And now this is what they are doing and promoting. This kind of hypocrisy. And then the thing about it is because it's not a forward movement, it's a backward one. This kind of hypocrisy always rubs me the wrong way. But we live in a country where we do not think for ourselves. We watch our prime minister who goes overseas to sell out 80 with Mia Moutley. And we sit here as if we don't know that the same nigga is gonna sell us out too. We watch and listen and think it's only funny when Mark Golding wants to show his allegiance to Jamaica by becoming the Jamaican Prime Minister, JamBritish. JamBritish. Prime Minister JamBritish. Think about it. Prime Minister JamBritish. Britain that we are trying to get off. Huh? And the Prime Minister JamBritish. Huh? Make that make sense. Great that he is still the opposition, JamBritish at this time. But is this man a British spy or something? Is he a spy? Questions must be asked. Is he there to stop Jamaicans from being a republic? Catch we back like how Maroon catch back Paul Bogle. These are the ones that will claim they come to help. Forget about political affiliations now, Jamaicans. That right? Tell me if that right. How you go stifle your conscience, brother? That's why me no inna the politics, me no inna the politics, bro. Golding was born in Jamaica but only gained a Jamaican passport in 2011. Why is Jamaica always coming last for this guy? And here is something that the outspoken Warmington said that resonates with me. He said, Jamaicans should always be aware that under British law, it is a crime for any British citizen to serve in the army of another country or come to the defense of another country during conflict. So the PNP president who wants to be prime minister and minister of defense in Jamaica needs to tell us whether he is a British citizen. This is what Mr. Warmington said. So we have a we will have a prime minister, Jam British, who, in difference between British and Jamaica, must serve the British cause. Think about it, man. And British come first for him because he was born in Jamaica, right? But he had a British passport and not a Jamaican one, although he was born in Jamaica. Think about it, no man. People, if you did not get it, it is saying that as long as Golding is British, he would have to serve the British interest in any case that there are conflicts between the two countries, and he can do nothing to help Jamaica in such conflicts for his allegiances to Britain. If he becomes Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, as he would love to be, how would this work? Do you see Jamaica going anywhere under this man? Because literally, in order for him to even have that British passport means he already sold out. Because is the condition he has to agree to. Why are we? I mean, oh man, this is sickening. Recently, around October, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlin Malahu, suggested to Parliament that the Constitutional Reform Committee contemplated whether persons with dual citizenship should be eligible to sit as MPs. And this was a great observation too, heading in the right direction, I think. So that was a positive thing, I mean, coming from Minister Marlin Malahu Ford. Minister Malawi said that they determined that a test of allegiance would be necessary. That is great. That's the road I want to take. Kudos. Dual citizenship folks of non-Commonwealth countries cannot hold elected office in Jamaica right now. While people are concerned, half scared to death, that Mark Golding, the president of the PNP, is a British citizen. Mark Golding is bickering that he is disappointed at the discrimination he has been enduring because of his skin color in Jamaica. What a way to steer the conversation south. He comes and threatens an entire black nation with treason by his own white self, but he is talking about fears of racism Make that make sense? When Mark Golding wanted to sabotage the Bruce Golding administration's drive to becoming a Republican, he declared that Jamaica should not be in a position where it has one foot in and one foot out of King Charles' yard. It was to criticize wholeness process and label it as a mere superficial gesture. But would it be the position he takes if he pushes towards having the Caribbean Court of Justice becoming Jamaica's final appellate court while Jamaica is still under the British? And how about the position he takes by being a British head of state for Jamaica? Huh? Think on these things, my people. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.